Hey friends, it's Courtney here. It is Wednesday and you are watching, listen, I even have it on my phone. You're watching Cosmically Connected with me, your psychic medium, Cortney Kane Sides. I'm so happy for you to be here with me tonight, guys. We are going to be talking about miracles. We're going to be talking about how to listen to that inner knowing and really how to take action. And so I hope you'll stay on with me tonight. We're going to get right into that in just a bit. But before we do, I just want to thank you guys for being here and want to tell you a little bit about this amazing Forbidden Knowledge Conference that's coming up. It's going to be in Miami not this coming weekend, but the weekend after. I hope that you'll join me and the rest of the Forbidden Knowledge family there. It is going to be an amazing weekend with beautiful thought leaders from across the world. You're going to be in such a beautiful, high energy community that you're going to want to make sure you don't miss this. Last year was so amazing. And just to, first of all, be nominated, I'm so thrilled about it. But to be there and to be able to meet you guys, I cannot wait. I know last year was so much fun, meeting so many of you, coming up saying, hey, this is my username or my name on YouTube. And so to meet you, to get to hug you in the flesh was so cool. So if you're coming to Miami for the second annual Conscious Awards, Forbidden Knowledge Conscious Awards, give me a comment down here and say, I'm coming. Yes, say, yes, I'm going to be there in those comments. And I love, thank you. I can already see also people are commenting where they're listening in or watching from. So we've got somebody from British Columbia, Vancouver Island. Thank you for being here, my friend. Guys, who else and where are you from? Let me see that here in the comments, guys. Connie says she's going to be there. Yes, Melissa's coming too. Yay, I'm so happy. It's going to be such a really cool time. You're going to meet so many different cool people. Some of the people I met last year were people that I had been looking up to in the spiritual community for years. So it was really cool to be in the same kind of vicinity. You could really feel the connection and the difference there. We've got Dallas, Texas in the house, Chicago, Kansas, Brisbane, Massachusetts, DC, Jacksonville, Florida, Finland, Louisiana, Wisconsin. I love it, guys. Thank you. Did I say Finland? I'm going to say Finland again if I didn't say that already. I love that. Thank you, guys. So happy you're here. So tonight, yes, we're going to get into those miracles. We're going to talk about it. I had a session earlier this week that inspired me to have this topic for this week. I think sometimes we need to be reminded that, yes, we're not crazy to believe in miracles. We're not crazy to think that all of this is for something. You know what I mean? I know that there's so many people having a really rough time right now. Let's take a breath in. Big exhale out. Not holding on to any of that. We're raising the vibration of that collective consciousness with every breath that we take, my friends. That is what we're doing when we connect there. Look, we've got Orlando, Alabama, Tennessee in the house. I love it. Desiree, thank you. This is Desiree's first live being here with me. Thank you, my friend, for being here. I love it. And Edward says, Texas here and needing a real miracle in my life right now. Right. How many of you understand Edward right now, right? We get it. We understand that, my friend. Sending you the most beautiful energy, Edward. Citrus County, Florida, Dallas, Texas, Michigan. Thank you, my friends. So before we jump into that, guys, I also want to tell you about another thing I've got going on, a VIP Inner Circle. It is my private membership. It is less than a coffee a month. It's $11 a month, $11.11. It is something that is a 3-year beautiful membership now. So when you join that membership, you get more time. You get a beautiful spiritual community. I'm in there an hour and a half twice a month with you minimum. And then we are doing private sessions in there, group sessions, and also, group development and just beautiful community support. And it's something that I invite you, if you're wanting to be with, higher range of thinkers, people who are the shift changers in this world, the energy changers, they're high frequency vibrational people. That's a beautiful group to come join. So I encourage you guys to do that. I will put the link to my website right here. It's also under the description. There you go, CourtneyKaneSides.com. Yes, and look, Consuela says, you'll get it, Edward. That's right, you will. You're going to get it. So everybody, let's do that quick deep breath in. If this is your first time tonight joining, I want you to breathe with me. We do this as you see me breathing during this live tonight. I hope that you'll breathe with me. I believe that we're We're healing, we're connecting to source, God, universe, our guides and angels, and of course, those loved ones on the other side with every breath that we take, sending out the highest frequency and healing beautiful energy, healing our own selves and connecting to that highest energy as well. So let's go ahead, guys. Let's take a good deep breath in. Big exhale out, and let's call on those guides and angels to just protect us in the light tonight. So guides and angels, angels on our right, guides and angels on our left, guides and angels in front, and guides and angels in back to balance and harmonize our time here, leaving us in the light and allow nothing but the highest, the truest, or the best to manifest upon us now. So miracles. I had a beautiful session with a client this week, a virtual session, and he was from New York and going through some struggles, which many people across the country, across the world are right now. And for the issues were financial. And I know so many people are feeling that hurt or that tight energy right there around their finances, around the economy right now. Let's take a breath in and send beautiful energy, healing our own vibration and energy in terms of that topic, and then also out into the ethers for those around us. As we got to the tail end of his session, he said he was a bit confused. Actually, he said, "So I'm just to get up and just keep going, keep going, keep going, take action, take action." And he said, can I just trust and have faith that this is all going to come through? And I took a moment and we really started to dive in even deeper than we had already gone. And it made me really sit there and think is that many of us who are empathic, many of us who are, have been working in this, many of you that are listening, I know that you're teachers. I know that you are, yes, Desiree, thank you, my friend. Desiree, reminding everybody to like and subscribe. That means the world. Thank you, my friend. And Edward says, yes, indeed, feeling a huge financial burden and need a blessing and breakthrough now in all areas. Let's take that good deep breath in. Big exhale out. I'm grateful you're here, Edward. This issue is, again, not an uncommon issue right now. And as a spiritual teacher, and when I conduct my sessions, I always want to make sure that that client has a beautiful, balanced understanding. And yes, I don't know any other way than yes, believing, yes, having pure faith and knowing that it's going to always go my way, even when opportunities feel like they're falling short or when something feels like it's not going necessarily in the direction I was hoping for. I have to understand, I hope and pray that you also understand this too, that even when something's falling apart, take a breath in, my friends, that it's because there's a bigger, beautiful plan for us, because there's a miracle on the other side of whatever this struggle is for you right now. So when we're moving through these pains of, the system, the daily life, the grind, the work, all of that, coming back home and making sure that even in the moment, we're finding the beautiful in the small miracles that lie before us. If even it's just the feather that was right in front of you, excuse me, while my nose is itching, but even if it's just that feather that you found right on your way to the vehicle, and you had your grandmother in your mind, in your head, or your, a past loved one that popped into your mind, or you were sitting there in your mind thinking and praying, and you were given this little seed, this little sign of hope. Maybe let's take a breath in, breathing out light and love to that stress, whatever that is for you, right? Or maybe you're driving to work and you're spinning on the stressors and that list of things that have to come through, right? I'm going to challenge you all tonight to maybe think of what the solution to that issue is for you, right? What is the solution? How would that feel as if while you're on your work, rather than thinking of the worry or the stress or whatever, what if the solution to this issue fell into your lap immediately right here in this moment? And as Tim's story says, suddenly, right? Take a breath in. Command that energy to you. Open that up for you. What if we were focusing on those solutions finding us rather than the worry? The key, though, to this, and this is how it feels to me. And by the way, if you're feeling inspired by this, if you're loving the conversation tonight, do me a favor and share this. If you have a friend that you know needs to hear this, they need to know that even in the subtlety, the subtleness of their day, the subtle moments of those signs and symbols that find them, that there can be hope and openness to something bigger coming to them. And maybe what we're moving through right now, right, is also meant to be, even when it's hard, my friends. Collecting your energy and helping you get more grounded and more grounded, taking care of yourself in a way that's going to speak volumes into the future, right? So every moment that we're freaking out about, the fear-based something, we're actually writing code into the future, into the universe, and many people don't understand that. And so rather than just sitting at home and praying for it, which by the way, I think is beautiful. Absolutely. Driving in the car, I remember praying or meditating as I drove on my way into work when I worked in corporate. And what I always started to do was make sure that my radio was listening to something that was lifting me up. I hope that you're doing that too. We had last week's podcast was on music, or the podcast before was on music and the vibrational force of music, right? And make sure that you're filling your soul with those things that are going to bring about a positive interaction, a positive change for you. Got it? It's extremely important to make sure you're watching that mindset. So, making sure that when you're also in those beautiful meditations or in those prayers, watching those subtle hints of a knowing where you come out of that and you're like, oh, this person pops into your mind. You're having a thought of, maybe to reach out to a person, right? That person hasn't popped into your head for quite some time. That person could possibly be that angel that's got a solution for you. Not that you're looking for people to fix this said thing for you, but maybe that person has the job that's going to get you out of the predicament you're in this moment, right? Maybe they know somebody that can help assist you with whatever needs to be done in your home that maybe you can't quite take care of right now. But what I know is we can't afford to not believe in those miracles. I know I can't. How many of you in your family get seen as crazy, as being the crazy ones because you're always optimistic, right? How many of you are here? Give me an emoji if you're that one in your family. Consuela says, you have got to find the beauty in the moment. You have to. Yes, I agree, Consuela, my friend. Mm, yes. I so appreciate you guys. Stephanie says, my son Cody is struggling with life since his brother Zach passed and wanting, because life seems to get worse for him. My friend, I'm so with you. I'm so, so sorry, my friend. What is something that I know to be true is that I must always understand that there's a reason for this. I know that especially, listen, with today's economy, and then also, my friends, look at what's happening in the world. We're not going to talk politics this evening. We could talk about that. We could talk about predictions. If you guys want that from me, I can do that with you, right? Mm-hmm. Warrior said, hello again. All my life, I've been told that I am the weirdo. I got it, my friend. Me too. I had a conversation with Ethan earlier. I think it was yesterday, maybe the day before. And I was speaking with somebody before that who was in that spin of that tornado, the worry, the stress and the worry. And I said to Ethan, I said, I cannot think of anything other than the positive way it's going to go. It feels like life or death for me. Who understands that? Maybe that's dramatic. I've been called dramatic before. I'm not afraid of the word, right? Who else feels like if you let it, if you jump into that spiral of the stress, how many of you understand that for you? Whew, you're so sensitive. You feel it all, that you understand that that does not work for you, but it also does not work for your soul. If we are believers in the light, If we are believers in the heart, if we are believers in our knowing source, God, then why is it crazy for us to trust that it'll all be taken care of? And sometimes all we need to do is take that inspired action. Yes, pray. Yes, meditate, but get up and do something. That's right. We can't sit back and pray for it always. Sometimes we have to get up and do something about it. So my question for you tonight is, are you doing that? Are you taking the time to listen? To me, that's i.e., again, meditation and prayer. Being very specific, showing gratitude, by the way, guys, let's not skip gratitude, right? How many of you say, thank you, thank you, thank you? If you've listened to this podcast or you've had sessions from me, you hear me say it all the time. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the awareness that is mine. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being a teacher on my path, asking nothing but the highest, truest, or the best to manifest upon me now, because I believe moment by moment I'm learning a lesson. It means that when the guy cuts me off, by the way, I'm human, not always perfect. I'm human. I curse, I drop things, I get angry, I get mad just like anybody else. But I'm 90, I don't want to say percentage, but I'm pretty aware. I try, I work. And I want you to be really aware where you're putting your energy. And when I just said that, I wanted to say coins. Where are you putting your worth? Where are you putting your value, my friends? Are you putting it in a jar of dread? Or are you adding something to the bulk of life of you? Are you putting in it? Are you investing in you and your energy and your prayers and your wants and your beliefs? Alan says, I've been seeing 444 every 12 hours for 3 days. Alan, I love that. Let's see here. I'm going to see a couple of these. Zabeth said, I've been a very lone wolf this 2024. Feel like I've shifted into a higher consciousness. And I just am not compatible at all with anyone or with the environments around me. How many of you feel that way? How many of you have made strict boundaries? And strict boundaries with love, by the way, it can come with love. It might not always feel good, but it can still be out of self-preservation. I can't say the word, self-preservation for you or even for them, right? Consuela says, my family thinks I don't care about anything or never take anything serious because I'm not a warrior. I just let life happen. Consuela, I would say I'm very often seen that way too. Me too. Ariana says, me too. I was so uncomfortable in my magic, though, that I came down to their level during my custody battle in 2020. My magic still told me in a dream that I would win my case, and I did. How many of you have seen a miracle happen in a way where like you know, that it had to absolutely be nothing other than a miracle? I've seen that in my life, right? What I know is this. Let's see here. I do believe that when we show up, I just had to get a nasty commenter out of here. Sorry, guys, I'm seeing it. Thank you. I see everybody takes care of it. So kind. But I want you to think about those moments, those times, right? Ariana says all the time she's seen them. Kristen says lone wolf for sure. No kids, no romance, deep sense of belonging somewhere. I can't connect with anyone. Let this space be the place to connect. And also, even like I said, that VIP inner circle, or find your tribe where you understand the people of like-minded understanding, see those miracles in their everyday life. And maybe in that moment when they're struggling with this 3D experience here on earth, maybe you can hold space and remind them of their 5D excellence and beyond, by the way. Tony says the new frequency. That's right. And I believe that new frequency is nothing other than this, the love. I had a client, it might have even been the same client this week now that I'm thinking about it. And He's got all of these amazing ideas. Which idea? Which idea? It's all of the ideas. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep showing up. But it's not the idea, and it's not the job that's going to give you the purpose. It's the journey. It's where you're placing your heart in these moments. Everybody's talking about the numbers, the angel numbers, or whatever you want to call it, popping up. I mean, today, even in discussion, I was on the phone on my way on an errand. I'm having a conversation. I look up and I see the number right there. As soon as I see it, I don't let those moments pass me by. I stop. I take that beautiful breath in. I pause, and on that breath, even while on the phone, say, "Oh, I see the number. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the awareness that is mine." I say the whole spiel for me. That is my mantra of gratitude, my mantra of connection. And when I do that, it helps raise my frequency in that moment. That helping me understand that I'm also, guys, making way for miracles. Every time, watch this. And I don't say this for you to be like, oh man, now I have to watch my energy with this. Now, I don't say this to trip you up. But think of how many times you're freaking out during the day. If you show gratitude that you're seeing it, you're freaking out, and you're like, "Ooh, wait," show gratitude that, "Oh, there I go doing that thing that I do. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the awareness that is mine," because you, at least your awareness is saying, "Hey, dude, that does not work for you. That's blocking your blessings. It's blocking those miracles." So every time you're irritated, every time you're spewing doubt, fear, any of that, by the way, we're all human. But anytime you're doing that, you're actually creating more speed bumps on your path to connectivity. Mm. Centennial says, "I'm thankful for everything, including the unpleasant." I love it. It's so interesting. I think that whenever we um, are able to also watch miracles happen for other people, I think that's one of my favorite things. How many of you, and I'm sure so many of you are going to say you understand what I'm talking about, but how many of you, when you even see the miracle happen for somebody else, that you are so beautifully holding space for them? You're breathing in for them, you're taking that breath in, you're exhaling that out, and you're actually sending them beautiful, beautiful love. Do you know that that actually can enhance one's energy? That you can help them in that way, right? Tony says the good, the bad, and the ugly. Listen, those are words I use often, my friend. And Beth says, trust the unknown. It's full of miracles. Abundance comes in many infinite ways. Be open and do your best to remember to be grateful. So, friends, yes, of course we can meditate. The way I do this is I will pray. Sometimes that prayer is in the shower and then meditation after, and I'm just kind of in the thoughts and in that visualization of the way that I see those hardships that might be there, and then I see the way that those hardships or those solutions come through for those things that might be popping up for me in my own life. For those that I love, I might see those issues and then send a beautiful energy, beautiful solutions to that person, or even again bring that in for myself. When we do that, my friends, and we make that conscious effort to connect there again and show gratitude that we have the ability to visualize and see the completion of these miracles happen. If we can do that, my friends, we're winning this game of life. If we think that sometimes that miracle is only in the completion of, I think we're missing the mark. Very often, it is the entire journey. That's the miracle. It's that we were able to jump every hurdle that was put forth in front of us, right? That we were able to jump across every one of those obstacles that were along our path. And so many of us, I want you to look around at your life right now, and maybe some are not in that space yet. I want you to see that you will be, though, in some time, okay? But if you can look around at your surroundings in this moment, it might be the sofa that you invested in, that was the one that you wanted. Okay. It may be that you are able to work from home. It might be the home that you were able to put your family into. It might be a full refrigerator, right? How many of you grew up in a house where you were like, your neighbors had that fridge in the garage with all the cool beverages? How many of you, give me an emoji if you understand what I'm talking about? That might be your spot where you're like, ooh, man, we've made it, right? How many of those things that you're living in right now that are showing you that, hey, you've done something and you've moved through lots of obstacles right now, right now when the world feels really heavy, is not the time to give up, right? Right now is not the time when, because everything else feels a little bleak, this is not the time. Ariana says, Auntie had the fridge and a pool. Haha. That's so funny, right? So look around, my friends. Are you in the miracle or the thing that you prayed for even when you were 12? Would your 12-year-old self say, hey, oh my gosh, look at that life that they're living, right? I bet they would. So take a look around, take a breath, say, oh my gosh, I did this, right? I did this. I saw something about predictions earlier. Somebody commented, let's see that. Did you get prophecy for 2027? I think we're gonna do a show about some of the things that I see happening, probably even for the rest of this year and then beyond. So I think we'll do that maybe on the next podcast. So that's a great one. So make sure you stay tuned next week too. Okay. Consuela also says, I found that non-attachment helps me also. Yes. Not attaching to the outcome, I think, is really, really important. And I think if we understood energy fully, if we understood even the science behind this, we would really understand that really this is all that exists right here, right now, right? And so very often what they say, if we're freaking out about the past, that's not healthy. If we're worried about the future too, that's what anxiety, the past is depression, I think is what they say. The future is anxiety. So if we can just work on being present right here. And what I find is when we're grateful for what is here in this moment, even when we don't understand what is next, at least we're raising that vibration because we expect it to be golden. We expect it to be golden. I love it. Warrior says it will be a great year. I will tune in. I love that. Yeah, make sure you tune in next Wednesday. I'll be in Florida, but we'll go live there. It'll be so much fun. Again, how many of you guys are coming to Miami? It's going to be so much fun. And also tonight, I'm going to tell you, we are doing a live intention after this in my VIP member inner circle. So if you want to be a member, go jump on the website. I put it in here earlier, CourtneyKaneSides.com. And you can be in there. We're going to do that intention setting. Yes. So cultivating the positive mindset, always showing gratitude, of course, setting the clear intentions, and also taking the inspired action. I don't believe that we can just believe in those miracles and pray and hope and sit still. That's the thing I wanted to make really, really clear tonight. Is that hoping, what is it? There's that old song, praying and hoping and dreaming and wishing, right? I don't know that that's actually the way that it happens for us. I think we have to get up. We have to pull our bootstraps up and get up and take inspired thought and inspired action and actually bring that hope in every moment. We can't sit back and pray and dream and hope and be in that space for 20 minutes and then walk around depressed, expecting life to change, my friends. Right? So going into that space, Julie Robertson, are you really coming to Miami? You give me a big heart emoji. If you are, I'm going to be so excited. Julie's in my VIP inner circle. It's going to be amazing. I hope so. I see that I think you said you are coming. Quan Peck said they're going to be there. Okay, awesome. Yes. Okay, awesome. I'm so excited. It is Miami. Listen, guys, again, last year was absolutely incredible. It's going to be really, really cool to be able to see everybody. Make sure you come up and share. I know that Roderick has been here on the show. All of us ladies were on last week at my podcast time. And so there's going to be that women's conference, which is going to be, I'm so excited about. It's going to be so great. We've got Ashley Joy Boyd. We've got Elizabeth Carson, Olivia Smith. We've got Kika Wise. And we've got, oh my goodness, I'm missing somebody. She's wonderful. Nymph is what she goes by. Mystique, that's who she is. Mystique, she's amazing. She works with the lymph, and so I cannot wait to learn more information about her. And she's absolutely wonderful, and about all of the things she's going to teach us. So you will make sure to not miss us. Yeah, Mystique, yeah, she's so wonderful. I love her. And so anyway, guys, so yes, thank you. I'm so happy so many of you guys are coming. It's going to be amazing. Yes. So guys, the miracles, please be hopeful right now. This is the thing that most of us need right now too, is we have to believe that just because you're not seeing it in front of you right now, that it means that it's not going to be executed in your life. I want you to understand that very often we don't see these things until the last minute, right? I want you to understand that you have to put one foot in front of you and actually absolutely believe that there is something really beautiful coming in store for you. And again, sitting back and even listening to the naysayers sometimes when we do look crazy, when we look like we've been holding on to that dream, we've been holding on to that thing for a long time, and invested in certain ways, right? I want you to know what you know to be true. I want you to trust those that you understand can help give you truth, help give you honesty and support you and love you. Listen to those, the ones who are naysayers and have never built or created that thing. Maybe sharing those things are also not the best to share with some of those, okay? Ariana says it's like muddy energy. If we are in that same mindset, hoping for a different outcome, but we must be consistent and visit it every day until the variable becomes a constant. That's right. And so, yes, showing gratitude, something that helped me again, I'll say it again, was every time there was a reason for me to be like, oh, man, to be irritated or disappointed. If I started to show gratitude for every one of those moments, what I started to realize is that how many times does that happen a day? Think how many times, let's put numbers here. How many times are you like, that guy went right in front of me? So-and-so's annoying. By the way, we're still here we're human beings, so it happens, right? But how many times if that happens and you're like, oh, there I go doing that thing that I do. I'm a human being. If there's a right to complain, we get it. But there's a right to also stop, collect your energy, your vibration, take that breath in and expand and come back to the beauty and the knowing of what's to come, and that it's something better than this little thing, this little something that's getting in the way, right? Ariana says 100 times a day. Consuela says 5. Yeah. So if every time something, or we work on it, if we can say 50% of the times we catch ourselves and we're like, oh, we show gratitude. Ooh, that I see that I don't like that. That doesn't work for me. And we show gratitude. We immediately shift our energy in that moment, which again is clearing the energy and your vibration for those miracles to find you. If we boggle up our energy with frustration, irritation, annoyance, those miracles it's real hard to trickle into our life, right? Think about it. I love it. I love it, guys. It's one of those things where, there also is part of this trusting the process, that part is not easy. So it's trusting, we've seen some of those things, especially when it's a dream that you've been dreaming for a long time, or it's one of those things when you're like, I don't know how this is supposed to work out, or say the miracle that you were praying for doesn't come through, guys. Oh man, how many of you understand that, right? Centennial says it's the hardest part. It is. But how many of you have been on the opposite side of that end a few times and you understand today with hindsight now that life is actually better than maybe it would have even been? Now, if we're holding on to the past and it's hurting, holding on to that's blocking us, right? But if we can find that because of that release of the issue, it has helped us leap into the direction that's going to help us now, into the future, it's so important to be able to let some of those things go. So if you're holding on to something that's no longer serving you, that could be one of the things that's keeping you from allowing that miracle to come into our life, right? Ariana says, trust. Listen, it's not always easy. And that's why we pray. And that's why we meditate. And we make sure that we're taking care of ourselves in every way, shape, and form. Having a beautiful community of like-minded people, having other higher quality conversations, not talking necessarily about politics and all of those other things that's happening right now, right, everybody? Zabeth says, yes, very challenging. I actually struggle with being patient to trust patience, struggle with being patient to trust the process. LOL. I think all of us do sometimes, right? And Henrik says, yes, quality conversations. I think that sometimes, listen, I'm a human being. I know people probably get annoyed at me because I can't just sit and chit chat about nothing sometimes, right? I'm not a big small talker, right? And so think about that. But sometimes I get the place where I see my miracles sometimes, and I'm glad you're saying this. It's interesting to me because there's sometimes when, and I'm going to say being at an airport and somebody sits down next to me on an airplane, I'm looking at everybody. How many of you are like me, by the way? Somebody sits down and you're like, oh my gosh, please don't be a chatter. I always want to put my headphones on and just go into my introverted mode, right? I'm an introvert. So I'm like, oh yeah, right? But there have been moments where I've been hit, like a ton of bricks, where the person did sit down next to me and started not preaching, but speaking, and every word had such beautiful layers of information and knowledge for me, where it was like a godsend that person sat next to me. And so sometimes I'm reminded of that when I'm also impatient or in a rush, or sometimes we think our mission is bigger than somebody else's. Guys, take a breath with me there. Take a breath in, big exhale out. It's not. We're all human beings having this beautiful human experience, right? Ariana says, I'm the same way, Courtney, always have been. Yeah. Wow. So interesting. It's so fun to see all the comments, my friends. And so seeing and having that process where you're almost humbled, because maybe you might even see your own rush or your own control of the way you think the moment needs to be or has to be. And when you kind of just take a breath and in that moment you go with the flow, that's I think the beautiful part. There was something that happened, and this was when I was coming back from Detroit just a few weeks ago. I sat down at the bar top at a restaurant right before I was getting on the plane to come home. I was still was I in Detroit? I don't know where it was. I was at an airport and I was sitting there waiting for the flight, had ordered a sandwich and was going to take it with me, and was sitting there. The bartender was kind of taking forever, and I could feel like, is she coming? Like, what's going on? And I kept taking a breath in, big exhale out. And this woman was sitting next to me and she got up, and then these other two women were sitting there and turned and said something to me and commented on my earrings or something I was wearing. And I said, oh yeah, yeah, that's it. And kind of like, it was nice and kind, and then went on beyond with my moment. And then she said something else. And I turned back and I said, I'm sorry, what? And she started just speaking about some other frivolous something that had happened in that moment that I didn't catch. And she just said, where are you going? What have you been here for? And I told her that it was for a forbidden knowledge something. And the other woman looked at me and she said, Courtney? And I looked at her and I said, yes. And she was actually at the event a year ago at this point. And so it was really, really interesting. Um, that it was like a year ago to that day that I had met her. And it was, and I actually think we weren't even in Detroit. I think it was a layover from Detroit somewhere. And so it was like a miracle. So if I didn't sit there and engage in that moment, again, I was rushed. I was a little probably like not, I was just in my own zone. But if I didn't take the time to be thoughtful and patient and have that conversation, it wouldn't have even led to a knowing of each other. And so it was somebody that she even showed me a picture of the year before that we had met, which I remembered her when she said that. And I was like, oh my gosh, I do remember. And so it's interesting how those moments kind of come together. And while we might not be able to say, well, what was the miracle in that? But maybe the miracle is that energy finds energy. Like attracts like. And so when we're working to raise our frequency, we might not understand the subtleness in the way that good energy finds us, or the solutions to things, or a miracle finds us. But I'm telling you, they do. And very often they come in the form of people. How many of you feel like most miracles have come in the form of another person coming into your life? I know I have seen that multiple times for myself and for so many other people, right? So many people. I love it. Zabeth says, powerful and magical when you go with the flow. I love that. I saw a question earlier. Somebody was asking if I was going to take questions or something like that. We're not going to do that tonight, but we will do that. How many of you all want me to take questions? We've done that at certain moments here on the podcast, and sometimes people love them, and sometimes it's whatever. And so we can do that. If you guys love that thought, if anybody's signing on now and just tuning in, I am Cortney Kane Sides, a psychic medium and spiritual advisor, and Forbidden Knowledge's own psychic medium, and have been for 3 years now. And so we can do questions. We're not going to do that tonight, but we can do that on another call, another podcast, if you guys wish. Let's see. Julie says, for sure, people I just met, but feel like I've always known, love it. Yes. What's really cool is that's when you meet people and you find that we feel like we're almost guided to them, right? Yeah, we're like guided to them, I think, too. And so I feel like that very often with my clients. It's like there's a kindred, is that the word? Kindred spirits or something like that, right? Can't speak tonight. But there's like a kindredness, right? That comes together, that kind of brings you together. It's almost as if you've known them in a previous lifetime, which is so cool, right? So fun. Zabeth says, yes, miracles come in so many ways. We just got to be open and trust. Kindred spirits. Thank you. I was trying to put a T or something on it tonight. Thank you. I love it. Yeah. And so expect them to. This is the thing. Expect the miracles to come in. I will say that is something that Tim Story, he was leading and teaching something that I was also leading and teaching on the same kind of the same corporate group. And he mentioned, the miracles coming in suddenly, right? And so I always want to make sure I'm giving credit to whom I've heard it from. And it was Tim Story. When he said suddenly, I was like, ooh, I like that. I always say abundance finds me in all forms. Like I sing it like a weirdo, which don't be afraid to be a weirdo, my friends. But when I do that, it helps raise my frequency. I get into it, I feel it. But what it does for me is I'm open to it just coming when it's supposed to. But when you say suddenly, it says I'm open to it hitting here and now. And when he said that, I thought, ooh, that struck a chord. I love that. I liked that. And so when you find something like that, guys, a mantra, a way of somebody teaching you something new and it hits you, use that because it's speaking to your frequency, it's speaking to your energy. And this is the thing too, I also want you, me, the rest of us to not be afraid of talking about miracles, of talking about how we expect the positive solution coming into our lives, into the lives of those that we love. We don't expect the same thing happening over and over and over, the way that it happened to Aunt so and so and Uncle blah, blah, blah. And this is always how it happens. Not anymore, right? We expect nothing but the highest, truest, or the best to manifest upon us now and suddenly, right? Lots of weirdos. I love it. We're the weirdos, guys. I love it. What's so funny to me is when we're talking about the weirdos, so many of the things, and listen, we have, okay, we're going to have 3 shows now. We're going to have a show on prophecy, right? Got the next podcast. Somebody take notes. Prophecy. We've got the next questions and lots of questions, right? Take 5 questions. I saw somebody say earlier, yep, we'll take 5 questions from the crowd. And then also the other thing, oh, I just lost it. Where was it? It was a good one. Conspiracy. What about conspiracy? So many of the different things that I thought was, or that people thought were conspiracies, I can pin it. I'm telling you, it is something that I've done essentially my whole life. When I can feel it in my bones, I feel it like what truth feels like in my body. And so I can peg it and I know, I will be that confident to say that that's what that is. And usually everybody thinks I'm crazy. Everybody thinks I'm a conspiracy theorist, whatever. And then it all falls into place 10, 15, 20 years later. Uh-huh. That's right. Centennial says most are true conspiracies, that is. Yep, that's right. So if anybody's down with that, we can also do another podcast on that too. That sounds amazing. Okay. Guys, cultivate positive mindset. We're setting clear intentions in those prayers and then in those meditations. Okay. Yes. Inspired action. We're taking inspired action. We're going to listen to what comes through. We're going to trust the process. We're going to understand that solutions find us suddenly. We're not going to be afraid. We're not going to sit in fear. We're going to get up and also put some action and figure it out, right? We're going to trust this, that it's coming to us. We're not fearful and manic. No manic energy, my friends. No, that manicness does not work for us. It makes us blind. We can't see anything. We can't receive anything if we're full of that fear, right? And so if many of you have been feeling that lately, it's not necessarily just yours. It could be some, but it's also the collective. That's what's happening in the world, friends. Don't connect to it. Right now, more than ever, connect back to you. The prayer, the meditation, the know, like you know, come back to you. Take care of yourself right now and those that you love, right? Recognize and also celebrate the miracles and share them with those that need to hear them. Unity as a whole, we truly need for our earth. That's right. I love it. I saw somebody said, how about psychic tests through the screen? That would be fun, right? I'm also a twin, friends. Who's on TikTok? If you're on TikTok, make sure you go follow me over there. But Courtney without a U, so make sure you get the correct Courtney, not some scammer. But I've thought about doing that with my twin sister, which I think would be so much fun. She's intuitive. She doesn't do this for a living, but she is. She's got it. All right, guys, I love you. I'm going to jump over at 8 o'clock. We're going to go live in my VIP Inner Circle. We are going to paint. I'm going to paint. We're going to we're going to connect to those guides and angels, and we're going to do an intention setting. So if you're open to that, you're ready to dive in and have that bigger community. We've got people from across the world in that group. And also this, you get to see everybody and you get to share and interact with me, with everybody. It's so cool, right? And so it's one of those things where, let's see here. Okay. Oh, just over here blocking people. Yes. Use fear to challenge yourself for growth in all types of ways. Well, show gratitude that you can see that it is fear, right? That's right. I love it. Love back to every one of you, my friends. But yeah, go run over if you're interested to, let's see, Courtney. I'm going to put it right here for you guys, CourtneyKaneSides.com, and hit VIP Inner Circle, hit offerings and VIP Inner Circle, and join my my group. It's so beautiful. You get a raffle. We raffle off a free session every month, which is so fun. And so essentially you're getting all of that investment back, but it is less than a cup of coffee, guys. So I love you all. Keep believing in those miracles. They're happening. I want you to understand, believe that they are on their way to you, my friends. Keep clearing your energy and raise your frequency. Bye-bye.